at 11:50. For more info, call 336-3896 or 725-READ.
Come talk with us.
Realest News, Hard Talk.
Real Talk on the Street, 919 FM.
News from the street, 919fm.com. Here's what's happening. That's 516-286-7079.
Good afternoon. It's time for your news at noon on the Street, 919 FM. Online, Facebook, and Street TV, courtesy the Sea Champion. In the headlines, former Education Minister believes that the Prime Minister is regretting scrapping the laptop initiative. 3 persons have been charged for kidnapping a baby in Chaguanas from a Venezuelan national. And in news overseas, Jamaica records another 5 COVID-19 deaths, bringing their total to 75. And now the details. Former Education Minister Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, during a virtual UNC report on Monday night, says the Prime Minister must be secretly admitting the worst mistake the PNM made was to scrap the UNC's laptop program. Dr. Gopi Singh said the COVID-19 the country has been plunged into an education crisis, and one that has exacerbated the widespread inequality in the education system. He said thousands of students were at home with no information technology instrument and were being left out. The recovered COVID-19 patient himself said the current education minister was now going cap in hand, begging sponsors for laptops, and he questioned whether the figure of 65,000 came from. He also questioned how many schools and students were involved in online learning, how many teachers were involved, and for how long per day. And the Ministry of Health, in its 10 a.m. COVID-19 update, reported that the country now has 2,038 active cases. This is as 29 new cases were reported. 6 people were discharged from hospital. 63 additional community cases have also been reported to have recovered. There are 84 patients in total at the Quora, Couva, and Arima hospitals. 9 are at the high dependency unit of the Couva hospital, and 3 are at the intensive care unit. A total of 130 patients are at the step-down facilities at UE DB, UE Freedom Hall, and UE Canada Hall. 1 woman and 2 men have been charged for kidnapping a 9-month-old baby last week, Tuesday. The crime was committed at Longdenville Old Road in Longdenville in Chaguanas. Anjali Digans of Longdenville in Chaguanas, along with Judah and Jadan Tate, both of McEnroy Street in Curepe, were jointly charged for the kidnapping for ransom. The report was made to the police on the morning of Tuesday, September 2020, by the teenage Venezuelan national that earlier that day her child was taken by another woman without her permission. She reported that sometime later she received a phone call from the suspect demanding $20,000 in cash for the safe release of her daughter. Police, acting on intelligence, proceeded to McEnroy Street in Curepe, where they found and safely extracted the child. 3 people were shot overnight in Arima and are now warded at the Arima Hospital. The shooting took place at Hoyt Avenue around 10:45 p.m. Police said the victims were all seated in a white Mitsubishi Lancer when they were approached by a man wearing a mask. Without warning, the man whipped out a firearm and shot at the car, injuring 3 persons before fleeing the scene on foot. The victims raised an alarm and were transported to the nearby hospital where they were treated. Officers from the Pinto Road Police Post responded. Finally, in news overseas, in the last 24 hours, Jamaica recorded 5 more COVID-19 deaths, bringing their total to 75. The deceased are 3 elderly people and 2 persons in their 50s. According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness in Jamaica, 4 of the 5 deceased are confirmed with pre-existing conditions. The country also recorded 127 new cases, bringing that total of cases to 5,270. Of the newly confirmed cases, 67 are male and 60 are female, with the age range of 8 to 86 years old. Jamaica currently has 3,668 active cases. And that was a look at your news to 12 noon on the street, 919 FM, online, Facebook, and YouTube, courtesy the Sea Champion. Recapping the headlines. Former Education Minister believes the Prime Minister is regretting scrapping the laptop initiative. 3 persons have been charged with kidnapping a baby in Chaguanas from a Venezuelan national. And in news overseas, Jamaica records another 5 COVID-19 deaths, bringing that total to 75. Stay with us for more news on the street, 919 FM. We have the Street Sport Report coming up at 1 p.m. We have news headlines coming up at 2 p.m. And we have one final major newscast coming up at 4 p.m. I am Jason Shields. Do have a good afternoon.